Good morning, rock and rollers. I'm wearing my leather jacket today because it's freaking freezing in this house. I've got like no heat, and so they brought over this heater, which is good. It works, I guess, as it should, but it's not enough to heat the house. I've got it cranked up as high as it'll go, and the house is still 57 degrees. Anyway, here's today's rock and roll song. And my apologies to Death Cab for Cutie. Love of mine, someday you will die, but I'll be close behind. Follow you into the dark, the blinding light, the tunnels to gates of light, just our hands clasped so tight, waiting for the hint of a spark. If heaven and hell decide that they both are satisfied, illuminate the no on both vacancy signs. If there's no one beside you when your soul embarks, then I'll follow you into the dark. In Catholic school, as vicious as Roman rule, I got my knuckles bruised by lady in black. I held my tongue as she told me, son, fear is the heart of love. So I never looked back. Heaven and hell decide that they both are satisfied. Illuminate the no on both vacancy signs. If there's no one beside you when your soul embarks, I'll follow you into the dark. You and me have seen everything to see, from Bangkok to Calgary, and the soles of your shoes are all worn down. The time for sleep is now, but it's nothing to cry about, 'cause we'll hold each other soon in the darkest of rooms. But if heaven and hell decide that they both are satisfied, illuminate the no on both vacancy sign. If there's no one beside you when your soul embarks, then I'll follow you to the dark. Rock and rollers! Alright, so the house is freezing. And, you know, so like, the, you know, Nurse Criminal's Christmas song, like I'm playing this song because it's like up on the 5th fret. But like the story, like with like Nurse Criminal's Christmas gift song is like, I don't know what it was. 2 or 3 weeks before Christmas, I texted her and said, "Hey, I need your sizes," and she was like, "No, absolutely not. You will not be buying me a Christmas present this year." Because I figured actually, knowing what I went through, I thought that maybe that's like what she wanted for Christmas. Like because she was adamant. You know, I mean, I asked her like 5 different texts, "What are your sizes?" And because I like to buy nice stuff because, you know, she looks hot, you know, and so I didn't get her anything. Okay, guys, listen to me. If your girlfriend or wife says to you, whatever you do, don't buy me anything for Christmas. Don't listen to her. So anyway, Nurse Criminal's all pissed off that I didn't get her anything for Christmas, but, whatever. So anyway, live and learn. As we go on, we live and we learn. We learn things as we go. So I now know when they say, don't buy me anything, that means buy me something. Okay, so, but I didn't know it at the time, and so I sat down and I wrote that song. And I was messing around up here on the 5th fret with that. And it just was one of those things. These aren't even chords. 2 kids and move back home. You know what I mean? That just came around. That song. It was as if I was, I mean, I can't explain it. It just was one of those things that it just wrote itself in no time. But I'm not. It's like Kid Rock. He says, "I wanted this, so I don't bitch." And I wanted this, so I don't bitch. I mean, I want to write these songs, and I'm not bitching when I say this to you. But that song I wrote for Nurse Criminal, that'll take everything out of you. I mean, I used to have these mediations when I was an attorney. And at the end of them, I'd be like covered in like oil. It would seem like I was like a wax figurine. I'd be so it'd be like this greasy sweat, more like grease, because I'm a winner. That's what happens to me. I get covered in like grease. My body makes grease face, and I'd be so. Like a massive headache, and honestly, I just feel terrible after. I'd be so spent, and then and that's how it was with that song with Nurse Criminal. We're very emotional and etc. It takes all that out of you to write a song like that, even though it did write itself. However, it takes a lot out of you, to write it and get it right and then do it, and so whatever, And that night I was in the hospital because this house is freezing, you see, and it's like in a wind tunnel. And I had a terrible, terrible headache. And I got the headache again, from writing the song and crying and stuff while I was writing it. And then and then it just stayed with me. And by the time it was late at night, midnight, I was like, forget this. And this house is so freezing, I had to go. And then she came. See, Nurse Criminal's type of woman that will go to the hospital at 3 in the morning. Because that's just the kind of person she is. But anyway, everybody have a great Sunday today, and I'm off to church, so rock and roll!